Hello everybody, welcome back for another great video from Ikemi Gaming. So today we have what looks like a simple task of 8 fruits need to go to Wichita, 8 loads of fruits. So you look down, you'd say, well, there's our fruit right here, that should be easy enough to do. Well, first, if you look here, we won't even need those fruits till we have 45,000 citizens. Right now we're at 36. So in order to climb, we're probably going to need milk and possibly even vegetables. So what I decided to do to free up space, because right now in Topeka, I have meat that shipping from Wichita to Kansas, and then I have this cloth to go from Kansas to Wichita. So here's what I did. I doubled up my line from Kansas City to Topeka and Topeka to Wichita, and then I put a freight train from Kansas City to Wichita directly, just flying through Topeka. So now they're going to move this meat and this cloth on their own. So that gives me the ability to then add in milk and vegetables, which will allow me to help both cities get up to at least 45,000 mark, and possibly a little bit more, I guess. And then we can deal with the fruit as a separate issue. Oops, I don't know what kind of building I just tried to lay there, but so if we just stick this here. Okay, so we laid that down. Now let's want that as fast as possible. Yeah, there's 78 will work. Be a little bit pricier because it's opening up another lane. So it's 50,000 is just for the station platform. Alright, so we got our fossil train station tracks laid down. We're all set to go. Now I think we'll go with the GM American, save a bit of money. And because we're going to want to add in this extra train car, because that gives us, we add in this refrigerated train car, it gives us 25% extra on freight. So why not, right? We buy that once for 20,000 and we get 25% extra the rest of the campaign. So I'd say that's worth it for sure. Alright, there we go. So now we're going to have, see, I'm sure that's, yep, look, it's already loading up. That's why I don't understand the last campaign why the apples was so hard to load, because look, boom, it's loading up. You know, just for fun, let's look at this and see where it's going. So we have Kansas City and one Wichita. Okay. Yeah, it's true that Topeka itself is not going to need them for a while. Now at some point we may have to do double freight line, do a second freight train from Topeka to Wichita. If we see like it's not kicking out enough freight, we may have to do that. In fact, we could just, yeah, well, we'll leave it for now, I guess. We'll see. We'll just leave it be. Okay, so now we need to get our milk. So we either bring milk from way over here, and we pay 304,000, or we get our milk from Oklahoma and pay 175,000. So we did get Oklahoma, I decided to buy it, but then when I was looking at putting down my milk station here, I realized that in all my rearranging at the beginning, I forgot to put this line back down from Brown. Alright, so between that, it's going to be equally as expensive. Alright, there's our double tracked wheat, which I think Alright. So I also noticed something interesting. Kansas City did opt to put in a dress shop, which is great. That's awesome. Usually the game doesn't do something that makes sense. And then Wichita decided to go with planks, which is good. So that leaves Topeka once it grows eventually to do something different. We'll see what they end up doing. Okay, so we got our wheat going in. Now I think we'll go ahead with our milk. There we go. So our milk, we'll zoom in here. All I gotta do is connect to here, and then I can just feed off that line. Okay. So we won't bother double tracking it yet. We'll go straight through to Topeka. Actually, it'll be 7, not 8. So there's our Baldwin 10-wheeler of milk. It's loading up milk. Kansas City, Wichita, Kansas and Wichita. Okay, perfect. Okay, so what that's gonna do, this is almost like a warehouse scenario here where I'm doing a warehouse tutorial. See? So we got grain, corn, wood, sugar, milk, and vegetables. So that's our main things. See, we have 100% of everything. And then I also have, because Topeka doesn't need them yet, but there's milk, vegetables. We don't have the apples. We do have the dresses and the planks already ready to roll. So we need apples right now. If we can get apples in, would be good. The problem is, right now we're tied up. We can't mess with these. So that's about the best we can do for Topeka. So right now, I see Oklahoma needs meat, grain, and beef. So we almost should start trying to build up Oklahoma, I think. Let's see if we go. I should probably make Wichita have a warehouse, probably the easiest way of doing it. And then I'll have Wichita go back and forth to Oklahoma with the freight to grow Oklahoma. That's probably the best idea. So they wanted that, cattle, and wood, I believe. Just double check, but I think so. Yeah, wood, grain. Oh, meat. Sorry, meat. So we don't need the cattle part. Meat, because meat's already coming from there, so we're good. Okay. So let's go ahead and put a train going down to Oklahoma from Wichita. Let's make sure it's leaving full. Priority will be on these dudes. And we'll leave it on automatic because then it can actually pick something up on the way back. We'll make it Jam American. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So that will help Oklahoma grow. Are these guys ready for apples or fruits? I mean, yes, they are ready for fruit. Okay, so we could so we have our apples all laid out here. So just for now, we're going to bring this in and parallel it to here. It's not the greatest plan ever, but it'll work for what we need it to do. So then we'll go apples. The other interesting thing it's gonna do is it's gonna kick up apples to Kansas City too, because they have that freight line going between the two. Alright, so we could go with something slightly better. Baldwin 10-wheeler for now. There we go. So we had a single line going there. And what else? Increase the maximum speed by 5%. Okay, we'll go with that. Maximum speed's good. Alright, so how are we doing this first? Supply and demand here. We're still at 100. They're at 100. What's Kansas City doing? The city is a little low on the wheat. So we might need to throw 2 wheat trains on maybe. I feel like grain maybe. Maybe we need to let's make that 3. Wichita is a little bit lower. Not getting a ton of wheat. Could be because we need to double this train line up maybe. Wichita freight. We could possibly go with 2 here. Let's do that. Let's go 2. That'll help. So it looks like our fruit train is coming in here. So that should be our final task. Should be completed here any second.
I can't describe to you what it's like to be so close to my dream after 15 years. Topeka is thriving, just as I always wanted it to. I knew that my trust in you was justified. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy purpose shall prosper. But we are still at the beginning. Now we must spread out. First Denver, and then the whole continent. Therein our destiny manifests itself. It's a strange feeling. Yesterday I moved into our house in Topeka with my wife. Something we've been dreaming of for the last 20 years.
Einen guten Tag to you. And here's to a successful competition. This rural business could use another station.
Alright, so what did we accomplish there? We, just there now, doubled up our freight train from Wichita to Topeka. So we're trying to get enough goods down to Wichita to found Oklahoma City here. And then I see for the next one we're gonna have to do Dodge City anyways, so we'll be doing the same thing. So we did put our apples, we did it kind of a roundabout way, just for now, kind of a patch way. So we have our milk coming in through Brown Terminal, actually bypassing it, and then getting all the way into Topeka. We did our vegetables into Topeka. So right now we stand at 30,000 Topeka. We're 100% until they start needing some of those other goods, and then I think we'll be fine anyways. Then Kansas City has grown way up to almost 75,000. They were getting a little low in wheat, so I had to double the trains. I'll have to double that train, of course, because they're not getting quite enough to sustain their growth. They got lots of milk, lots of vegetables. Eventually the apples will make it up here though, and they're making dresses, so they're good. Eventually they will get planks, so that's good. And if we jump down to Wichita, they're at just under 50,000, and they're at a little low in the wheat. The alcohol, they're not getting enough, which is funny, but we did put 2 trains, so maybe that's the difference. And then they're a little low on their sugar, so that's probably why they didn't grow to 75. And then they're 100 on all the 3 more high-end things: the milk, the vegetables, and of course the apples. They have tons. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back and see us next time at I Can Meet Gaming.